Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second live show on College Football Corner. I'm your host, Cooper Stevens, and I'm alongside here with Trent Adams and CJ Gray. How are y'all doing today?
Doing pretty good. Ready to talk a little football.
Same here.
Okay, okay. Well, we have a lot to get into today. We are going to go over week one of college football. We're going to go over some big games that happened this week. We're going to go over the new AP Top 25, and we're going to finish it off with some picks, and we might even finish it off with a couple of live call-ins. We'll see as the night goes on, but we are first going to dive in to Texas versus Ohio State, the biggest game of the weekend, number one versus number three. That game ended with Ohio State winning 14-7. Trent, what were your thoughts on this game? How did you feel about it?
Hold on, I'm lagging.
Uh-oh.
All right, hello.
Hello?
What's going on with this thing, dude?
All right, well, CJ, can you talk about Texas versus Ohio State?
Is Trent gone?
No, he's still here. He's just lagging.
All right. So, am I good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you.
Texas Ohio State was a great game. It's a game not one for college football fans, but Arch Manning was of course disappointing. That's the big touching factor of the game. But Ohio
You're
State
starting to
did
lag too now.
I'm starting to lag too.
You're starting to kind of lag too now.
Jeez.
Uh-oh. Hold on. All right. I think you might be good.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I'm good too.
Okay. Hopefully this is good now.
Oh
All
my
right.
God, it's lagging again.
It's lagging again?
Dude, I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and I mean, can you hear me CJ?
Yeah.
All right. I'll go ahead and start us off. So, I mean, this game really was a very defensive matchup, I thought. You kind of look at it and you look at the stats, and Texas outgained Ohio State. They outgained them by 133 yards. It was really if you looked on paper, it was really good performance by Texas if you didn't look at the score. And I mean, they just could not convert on fourth down, 1 for 5 on fourth downs. It was a horrible day trying to convert for Texas. And the Ohio State defense really just seemed to be more physical throughout the day. They really just had they were really greatly coached. I think that was something that kind of surprised me was, throughout the year, they just won the national championship. Texas was coming off a bad loss to Ohio State. And you kind of figured Texas would have more of an edge in this game, but it was the other way around. It was really Ohio State who had the better edge, who was able to, out really strength this Texas team. And I mean, at the end of the day, there was a couple of opportunities for Texas to score. They were on the one at one point in first and goal, and you kind of just saw like Ohio State outstrength them. And Arch Manning did not have a great performance. He was swallowed up by that defense up until the fourth quarter, and it was really kind of Ohio State's to lose once they got into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think Arch Manning really did just look like a really young quarterback. I mean, he's a junior now. I think he needs to start stepping it up a little bit. I know it's not his first start. I know it's his first season at the helm, but I think he really needs to turn it around if he wants to make it to the playoff.
I agree. along with Arch's very disappointing performance, I think Texas really showing that they are an aggressive team and going for it on 4th down 5 times, only converting on 1. That's just was a real drive. I mean, of course, drive killers, but those are morale killers as well. So just Texas played a decent game. It's just all went their way.
Yep. I mean, and you look at Julian Sayin, who arguably might have had not as great of a performance as you might have wanted out of a quarterback, but that's okay. That's what they wanted. All they needed was just for him not to turn the ball over and not make that many mistakes. He went 13 for 20, 126 yards and a touchdown. And really that's all he needed to do. We kind of expected that he was going to be not that great to start off with, but it's really scary when you've got a quarterback like that you have to kind of, ease in the start of the season, and you're playing the number 1 team in the country, and he's able to not put up a great performance and still beat the number 1 team in the country. So,
yeah. You could tell the nerves were there for both sides of the ball. I mean, sorry, both teams at quarterback, Arch and Julian.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it was really kind of just one of those ugly games that really went by fast. That it was just it wasn't that great to watch. I felt like, but it was a good defensive game that Ohio State just outperformed Texas on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive side. I felt like they were able to just kind of keep it in there, do their job, and score when they had to.
Yep.
All right. Well, is somebody's mic crackling? I don't know. Or it
CJ's.
sounds weird.
Is that me?
It might be. I think it might be you.
CJ sounds like he's popping popcorn. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to again.
What are you doing?
Dude, I don't know what is wrong with it tonight.
Dude, we apologize for the technical difficulties. It wasn't like this last week, but we started a little bit late, and the guy with the $1.2 million contract can't get a microphone. He can get a fancy truck, but he cannot get
or figure out how to work a computer.
He can't get Chrome. But that's why he has an agent. That's why he has Yep. But all right, well, we will go on to
on his computer, but he can get
dude, that was a struggle. All right. Well, we will go on to the second game without CJ until he can come back and fix his microphone, or whenever he's done talking to Cassidy. But we will move on to the second game of the week, LSU versus Clemson. This one as well was kind of like the Ohio State-Texas game. 17-10, LSU beats Clemson. Trent, what were your thoughts on the LSU-Clemson game?
I think it was a really good matchup. I think both teams they stacked up somewhat even. I was really surprised that Clemson could only put up 10 points, though, especially with Klubnik returning as your for a third year now as your starting quarterback. I figured he'd play a little better. He does tend to play off in the first game of the year, but we have that figured out by now. But I think LSU looked really stout on both sides of the ball. I mean, 17 points is not quite what you want, but 232 yards for Jarrett Nussmeier. That's pretty dang good, especially in a night game in Death Valley. So I think LSU has a real shot at winning. Maybe not winning the SEC, but I think they have a good shot at making a run to the championship for the SEC.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see here. We've got the professional athlete back, and he's still popping popcorn, I believe.
He is.
I mean, you wouldn't even know that he's loaded. But so yeah, for this game, I thought it was a good game defensively for both of these teams. These two teams are going to have spectacular defenses throughout the year. I mean, you gotta feel horrible for the ACC, them having to play this defense in Clemson now. They probably feel good about the offense and how they match up against that, but Clemson's offense just did not look up to par. And I mean, LSU's didn't look that great either, but they were actually able to run the ball, and get the ball going on the ground. You look at it. Clemson had 31 total rushing yards. LSU had 108, and that's not a huge difference, but I mean, you have to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to be dual threat and be able to just run the ball, and that you can't do. Clemson couldn't do that. They don't have a running back. They don't have a running game. Their best rusher on Saturday was Cade Klubnik. It was ridiculous. And Cade Klubnik, he couldn't throw the ball. He could not get it. There was no big plays downfield. There was nothing. I felt like.
All right, good.
I think he's good now.
I had to get on
I
the
think
MacBook.
we're good.
You had to get on the MacBook.
Oh, he figured out the MacBook.
Yeah.
Okay. CJ, what did you think about the Clemson LSU game?
I think Clemson moved the ball fairly well. I think, like you said, just them in the running game just really has to be better. I think 32 rushing yards. You just can't win a football game like that, especially against a now number 3 team. So just yeah, a shame for Clemson. But Garrett Nussmeier also threw the ball really well around the yard. I think 38 passing attempts. I don't know how many completions, but I think 28 completions. Yeah, just a very efficient game for Garrett Nussmeier.
I mean, this is you can kind of compare them really nicely because they both had 38 passing attempts. Garrett Nussmeier had 9 more completions. They had the same amount of yards pretty much, but Garrett Nussmeier was way more accurate. And as the game went on, you could kind of see that he was getting into, his strides, and they were able to score 14 compared to Clemson 0 in the second half. But yeah, I mean, you look time of possession 37 minutes. Clemson had 22. LSU as the game went on was able to be comfortable offensively, and it looked like Clemson was never even really there.
Yeah, I just think a very fundamentally sound and way to take care of the football game from Garrett Nussmeier and LSU. So,
Yep.
Which has been, I guess, the name of the game for our top few teams wins this week, like Ohio State, in Miami as well. So,
I mean, it's the first week of the year. You can't be too mad at these teams, and I'm a little biased because I'm a Clemson guy, but it's kind of sad to see for the 3rd straight year in a row. And for really 5 years, it's felt like Clemson just has not been able to win in big games. They have not been able to show up, and I think really it might be Cade Klubnik's fault, but I think it's also due to Garrett Riley and the offensive coordinator. I don't think he was up to snuff last night. You have all this offensive talent. Where is it going? How are you able to use it? I think he's not using it greatly. I mean, you've got the best receiving core in the country, I feel like. And, Antonio Williams did go down early, but you still have Bryant Westco, you still have TJ Moore, you still have Tyler Brown. And they just weren't able to get the ball going on the ground. They weren't able to get the ball going through the air. It was really a stagnant night from the Clemson offense. So, but they will come back. They have an easy schedule. I think for Clemson, they've still set up amazingly to make the playoff. I mean, if they can just kind of start to find a groove at the end of the year, they have another big game against South Carolina and then probably maybe in the ACC championship. But we'll see how the ACC turns out. I think it's going to be a little bit stronger than last year. We'll see. And for LSU, I think right now they have a good shot at winning the SEC too.
Shall we move on to our next game?
Yes, we should. We will go to Notre Dame and Miami. These were the top 3 games of the week, and they were all 3 really good games. This one 27-24, Miami wins it. Trent, you good on the mic and everything? Nope.
Holy, StreamYard is not helping out the college football corner.
Oh my gosh, this is night of technical difficulties. All right, CJ, what did you think of the Notre Dame Miami game?
I think the Notre Dame Miami game was very nice. Carson Beck played a very good game. Like I said, the name of the game this week has just been playing great football, just taking care of the football from our quarterbacks. Just no turnovers, 20 for 31, 205, and 2 touchdowns. So a great game from Carson Beck. I think CJ Carr played a pretty decent game himself. Just, again, an interception going over his stats. Just not as good as Carson Beck. Notre Dame did move the ball pretty well, though, and it was a very close game from start to finish.
Yep. I agree. I think Carson Beck did what he needed to do in this game, and it was not turn the ball over. I think that was, as the season was winding down, that was one of his big issues, was that he was turning the ball over, throwing interceptions. But he was able to kind of control the offense, and Miami looked like a well-oiled machine out there for week 1. And so I think that Miami had a great offense. They were able to kind of move the ball down the field, and really up until about the fourth quarter, they had this game really in the palm of their hand, 21-7. It was Miami's defense also looked really good. That was something that they didn't have last year that now they have is a good defense. The front 4 is going to be really good. They were able to get pressure on CJ Carr making his first start, but like you said, CJ Carr, he had a couple of mistakes, but you would kind of expect that from CJ Carr. What I didn't expect was the lack of running that this Notre Dame team did, and the lack of touches they gave Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love had 10 carries for 33 yards. Kind of just really kind of head scratching there. And I mean, again, 2 turnovers for Notre Dame compared to Miami 0. It was just a little bit more of a sloppy game from Notre Dame. And at the end of the day, that cost them. Even though they were able to come back in the fourth quarter, it just wasn't enough.
I do think Notre Dame still is a playoff team. Just, again, self-inflicted issues with the 2 turnovers, again, to Miami 0. Just the name of the game being take care of the football. I think Notre Dame will still be a playoff team in the near future. So,
yep. Trent, are you good? Oh my gosh! Nope. Golly.
So, do we want to wait for Trent to go to everybody's shocker game of the week?
We can. I mean, we'll see if Trent is good or not. I mean, really not a whole lot else to. I mean, I would say that CJ Carr definitely looks. He looked impressive. He looked kind of like the broadcaster said. He said that he looked like Riley Leonard. That was kind of my comparison that I thought he looked like. I thought he looked very similar to Riley Leonard, and I think if they can start to run the ball more, I think this can be a very similar team. Their defense looked pretty good. They were able to shut down Miami on some possessions, and I thought this is definitely kind of a similar product to what we got last year with Notre Dame. So I think at the end of the day, it was a good showing from Notre Dame. I think out of the 3 teams who lost, I think there's probably in these 3 big games from this weekend, I think Notre Dame has maybe looked the best out of the 3. I think, obviously they weren't playing maybe to the level of LSU or Ohio State, but still I think quarterback play and defensively wise, I think they looked overall as a team the most solid. But but I think for all
Can you hear me
three of
now?
these teams so far,
Yeah.
All right, give us your thoughts
Okay.
on Notre Dame, Miami, if we didn't take them from you.
Yeah, I think he really did just look like Riley Leonard. It almost looked the exact same to me. I think they can still
Same
make a
number and
playoff
everything.
run. I don't think this is the end of the world for them. Miami's a good team. I think they just have to look past it. They can't let them hold this. I can't let this hold them back. But I mean, they lost to, like you remember, they lost to NIU last year, and that was the only game they lost. So I really wouldn't put anything past this team.
Yeah,
I'd say both teams were a well-oiled machine, though. I like both teams, and I like both quarterbacks and their relative offenses. I think this was a really nice game to watch.
Yep, I agree. So let's move on to the upset of the week. A game that we did not even pick, which I'm kind of glad we did not pick.
We would have
For some
all
reason,
got
we
a
did not.
loss.
So we would all
We
got it
all would
wrong.
have lost
Yeah.
it. It's Florida State versus Alabama. Florida State wins this game 31-17. Trent, give us your take on this game.
Well, I mean, Alabama just straight got pantsed by Florida State. I don't think there's any way of putting it. Like, they just straight up got – I mean, it was horrible. It didn't even look like they wanted to be there. Alabama did not look like – you would be watching this. There would be no way you would believe 2 years ago this was led by Nick Saban. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
Ryan Williams injured as well, and he wasn't even playing good before that, the former 17-year-old. I really do not think this Alabama team, if they want to be good, and they were getting pushed around. Their D-line was getting killed by
Alabama in the front seven looked
Florida State's
terrible.
line. It was bad. All around, just a disaster of a game for
Yeah,
Alabama.
I'd say
Florida State looked really good. 7 TFLs, 3 sacks for Florida State. I mean, it was just out their O-line. At both sides of the ball, they were getting dominated in the trenches. It was really bad.
CJ?
Yeah, I'd say Alabama did get heavily pantsed this game. Just an all-around bad performance on both sides of the ball. And they just got ate up in the front seven. Florida State only passed the ball 14 times, which I thought was pretty insane and very efficient from Tommy Castellanos. 9 for 14 with 152 passing yards. But he also had 16 outstanding carries for 78 yards and a rushing touchdown. And then on the flip side for Ty Simpson, Alabama, they threw the ball 43 times. Alabama just throwing the ball around the yard. It's just kind of not that old, like ground and pound Saban offense we're used to. And I think they're just not really finding success there on the offensive side of the ball. But like we said, just an all-around bad performance, especially from Alabama's defensive front seven. They just have to be a lot better, show a lot more hustle on the field, and just make more tackles in the backfield, like they've had the opportunities to. So,
yeah.
In preseason, this was supposed to be one of the best defenses in the country.
Yeah,
and it looked horrible.
And this was a preseason number 6 defense. So yeah, they also rushed for 87 yards on the offensive side of the ball. So I mean, there's really no success from either the pass or running game from Alabama. I think about 330 yards of total offense. So
yeah, they really just looked like they did not want to play. Like it did not look like they wanted to be there at all.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, really one of the big things that came down, or one of the big things that happened in this game was just you kind of saw the new coaching hires that Mike Norvell hired. Main one being Gus Malzahn, coaching up this offense and really giving them a breath of fresh air. I mean, a lot of the kind of apprehensiveness towards this Florida State team this year is that, again, it was kind of the same formula as last year where they brought in a lot of transfers. They had a new transfer quarterback, and you really were kind of like, is this going to be the same team as last year? It's not. It's completely different. Tommy Castellanos looked amazing. they had a lot of good. They had a lot good on the running side of the ball. They could throw the ball too. They have some good wideouts. And it was all kind of enhanced through Gus Malzahn and the way he was able to call some of these plays. I mean, just ridiculously good offensive performance. And just the way they were able to out physical Alabama was really just kind of shocking. I mean, 230 rushing yards compared to 87, and 7 tackles for loss compared to 3 sacks compared to 1. Tommy Castellanos able to go 9 for 14, 152. Just incredible job by this Florida State team to bounce back after the year they had last year. And I know it's not even really kind of the same team, but just this coaching staff looks to be really good. Mike Norvell's always been a good coach. Just kind of really unfortunate situation last year, and props to this Florida State team. But I mean, another story in this game is just how unprepared Alabama looked in this game. You after the first drive where they went down and scored a touchdown, it really just looked like they were overlooking this Florida State team. It felt like I don't know. It just, and you kind of relate everything that happened last year with the team too. It just does not look good. An interesting stat that I stumbled upon is that Kalen DeVore's Alabama team, in every game that they have played for them, they have had more penalties than the other team. And that's just kind of tells you everything you need to know about what's going on right now. I don't think this is it for Kalen DeVore. Like, I feel like a lot of people think it is, because guess what? This has been the case for every other SEC team ever. And it's just insane to kind of be compared to Nick Saban, I feel like. Any other coach in the country would look bad compared to Nick Saban. And while this is really bad for Alabama, they can fix this. It's going to be hard because they have a really tough schedule, and it probably can't be fixed this year. But I think over time, if you kind of let Kalen DeBoer breathe, maybe this will work out, maybe it won't. But right now it needs to be fixed, especially in the coaching department.
Yeah, and I think this week 3 game you have against Wisconsin has to be a wake-up game. Because, I mean, Wisconsin is a great team. But if you go out there and you look like you did against Florida State, anybody can beat you.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, that'll kind of put a bow on that game for now, as we will head to the final game that we're going to talk about for this week, to recap week 1, and that is Tennessee versus Syracuse. This was at a neutral site at Mercedes-Benz, and the score was 45-26 Tennessee. Trent, go ahead and give us your thoughts on this game.
I thought the offense looked night and day compared to last year. It seemed like Aguilar really has a good grip on the offense. Obviously, at Syracuse, you can't really say much. I think their defense was bottom barrel last year, and most likely will be this year too. But you could just tell Aguilar had a little more grip of offense than Nico did. He was willing to throw the ball deep. Nico would kind of hold on to it a lot and try to run. Joey had 247, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think you like that no interception a lot, considering he had 14 or 15 picks at App State last year. So I think that does speak a lot for the system he's in. Steve Angeli was 23 for 40, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He didn't look horrible, but he looked a little rattled, in my opinion. But total offense for Tennessee, 493 to split right down the middle, 246 rushing yards, 247 passing yards. I think you like that a lot as well, because year before that, still run heavy team. So I would think you like that passing stat a lot, and you're still able to run the ball.
No. CJ, how did you feel about this game for Tennessee?
I think our offense looked amazing. Joey Aguilar was, of course, his old aggressive App State self. Just took care of the football a lot better, and our got it, the ball to his playmakers really well in this game. I was sitting in the clubhouse watching this. I was very excited with how he played. 247, 3 touchdowns, and of course we ran the ball very well. We have a very balanced offense, and we just really showed it in that Syracuse game. Again, not a great defense we played, but just a really good week 1 game.
Yeah, I think a
Yes,
player
I
you also like.
agree. Huh?
I was gonna say for Tennessee defense, you did get a little thin there on D tackle. You lost 2 players, um, Jackson Moy and David Hobbs, and corner you lost Ricky Gibson. So that's 3 injuries. So you're a little thin there, but corner Colton Hood really stepped up, I think, for you. He had a touchdown off a fumble recovery, and I think 5 pass breakups, which is the lead in the SEC for this week. So I think you're really happy about that as well, especially with Jermon McCoy not coming back till maybe after the Georgia game now. So, and
Which
also
again,
you have go ahead.
Okay. Which again, our defense played really well. Just when you have a really fast-paced offense and we score pretty quickly, just you give the defense more times to step on the field against another team's offense, no matter how good the opposing offense is. That's just the more times you step out there on the defensive side of the ball, just the more opportunities to score. So
And your highest PFF graded player for this week was a true freshman, Ty Redmond at corner. So I think you also like that as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think this was probably one of the best offensive performances of the week by any team. They looked completely balanced. You know, Joey Aguilar did not turn the ball over. That was probably the biggest key to this game. I felt like there was a fumble, but I mean, really, he was perfect. He was perfect through the air. He could run the ball. He looked really solid. Now, I mean, it is against Syracuse, but I mean, this was a really good week 1 game, and they were able to get on top early and keep that lead. Syracuse was kind of playing catch up the entire game. Defense did look a little bit thin. I mean, with those injuries, and didn't look the best, but I think if the offense can perform that way, they can, I mean, really kind of replicate what they did in 2022. I felt like, the defense doesn't have to be great. I mean, you look at it, 493 yards of total offense and split right down the middle with passing and rushing. And I mean, the defense was able to lock up Steve Angeli. They were able to get him rattled, 5 sacks. Really solid day. They were able to force turnovers. I believe they got, what was it, a scoop and score? In that first quarter, and so that was just, really impressive performance. I mean, good performance by defense, great performance by the offense. And so they'll have a cupcake this week, I believe, and then you kind of start to hit the ground running against all these tough SEC opponents.
Most straight into Georgia, week 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that will do it for our recap of week 1. So now we will head into talking about the top 25 ranking for this week. A couple of things different. I'll start us off and then I'll hand it over to y'all. But just some main contention points. There was a debate over who was going to be the number 1 team in the country. It was, it was really 3 teams. It was Ohio State, Penn State, and LSU. Some people argued LSU had the better performance, so they should be number 1. Penn State, looked the most solid overall in their game, and obviously Ohio State beat the number 1 team in the country. And it ended up not even being close. Ohio State got 55 first place votes. They were the number 1 team with Penn State and LSU right behind them. And in my opinion, I think this is probably the right ranking. Out of the gate, after Saturday, I was kind of thinking maybe Penn State should have got the number 1 spot just because they did look really solid. But Ohio State really had a splendid defensive performance against Texas. And I think right now, you beat the number 1 team, you should be able to get the number 1 ranking, I feel like. So I think Penn State, for right now, I'm okay with them at number 2, and LSU, I think, as well at number 3 is acceptable. I think, they played a really hard game on the road. So, I mean, even if you think LSU should be the number 1 team, I wouldn't really be mad at that. Trent, what do you think about the placement of these 3 teams?
My personal opinion, I agree. I think Ohio State, undisputed number 1 team. You beat the number 1 team in the country coming off a national championship. I think undisputed number 1 team in the country until they lose.
Yep.
Now, I do think Penn State should be 3, in my opinion. I think LSU should have gotten rewarded a little more for that top 10 win in week 1 as to where Penn State played Nevada. I think if you're going to I think you need to start rewarding that a little more, but at the same time as AP poll doesn't really matter. So,
yep. CJ, do you agree or disagree?
I think Trent hit the nail right on the head. I think Ohio State is the undisputed number 1. Because you beat the number 1 team in the country, you deserve that. No matter how ugly it was, a win is a win. On the flip side, I do understand the argument for Penn State at number 2. I also understand the argument for LSU at number 2 as well. Just Penn State can't really control who they played week 1, but they did handle their business week 1. So, but also LSU's win was very impressive and their offense looked amazing. So I think, me personally, I would lean probably more towards LSU at number 2. Maybe that's just the SEC bias in me, but I would say Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Penn State 3.
Yep. I would say that's the proper rating, and just kind of looking, Georgia moves up 1 just by default. Miami moves up 5 spots to number 5 after that Notre Dame win. I think, now the pressure's back on them just like they were last year, as they're now the number 1 ACC team again. And we'll see how that happens. Can they be more consistent? I feel like they can be. Texas moves down to 7. They moved down 6 spots after their loss. Clemson moves to 8, down 4 spots, and Notre Dame moves down to number 9. South Carolina moves up 3 to 10. Anything in there that y'all that kind of piques y'all's eye, or do you think that's the correct ranking?
I think what's really barking at me is Clemson being behind Texas. While I do understand the argument, I just feel like Texas really showed they couldn't move the football. And I feel like us harping on Arch Manning being the top prospect he is, it's just a little bit too far-fetched right now for Texas to be over Clemson. So,
yeah. I mean, I think it's, week 1. I think it's week 1. I think Arch Manning had a really tough test against this Ohio State defense. So I think, we'll see how he plays, in the next coming weeks. But I think, these 2 teams, Texas and Clemson, they both kind of had a similar fate, and that they had to play 2 really tough teams. And so I think, putting them right next to each other and having Texas above Clemson is just fine. Anything else from these top 10 rankings?
I think South Carolina might be a little too high. I think Lenore Sellers kind of looked a little inconsistent, in my opinion. I think Lenore Sellers looked a little inconsistent.
We didn't talk about the South Carolina-Virginia Tech game, but, I mean, Trent is kind of right. 24-11, and one of the touchdowns for South Carolina being off a punt return. Am I correct?
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it was they had a really solid first drive, and then just kind of
fizzled out.
They fizzled out with a couple field goals. Virginia Tech was playing some pretty good defense, and I mean, they were also kind of moving the ball a little bit. I mean, they weren't ever able to get a touchdown.
Not very impressive either. So
no, this was just kind of 2 teams that. I mean,
dude,
after the first,
would get torn up.
Yes, it was. I mean, if this is just Virginia Tech didn't look that great, but I mean, South Carolina should have been able to put this team away. And it kind of, I was talking about it last week. They don't have a lot of people to surround Lenore Sellers with, and that kind of showed, I feel like, in this game. Sloppy game, but I guess due to um, other losses and things that South Carolina gets to be moved up. We'll see when they have to play an actual team. I think we'll see. And kind of looking through the rest of these rankings, something that pops up: Florida State moving up to number 14 after not being ranked. I don't even think they got a vote in the first preseason poll. Trent, what do you think of Florida State moving all the way up to 14 after beating Alabama at
Like
home?
I said before, I think that game was really easy to overreact to. So I think it's a little bit of an overreaction, in my opinion. I think Alabama really just looked bad. I mean, Florida State's coming off a 2-10 season. We're already throwing them back at 14. That's a
I
little
would
bit of a
really
stretch for
agree.
me.
I feel while it isn't really the same team at all as Florida State last year from a lot of transfers, I think it is a bit of an overreaction to move them up to 14. I think them being right around the 20 spot would have been just fine because it is a great win, but also Alabama played a very, very bad game. So
This is kind of deep in the bag. Not really, because it only happened a couple of years ago. But do y'all remember the Florida-Utah game where Utah was ranked like number 7 and Florida was unranked? The Utah goes into the swamp. They lose. Florida got put up to about 14, 13, somewhere along in
Yep.
there, and then 2 weeks later I think they went on like a losing streak to Tennessee, maybe Tennessee. That was the Anthony
Tennessee,
Richardson.
Anthony Richardson,
And
with the that was
and they dropped
22.
out of the yep. And they dropped out of the rankings like as soon as they got into them. I feel like, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen this year because Florida State doesn't play as hard of a schedule, but this kind of has feelings of that, just kind of like the voters overreacting on one game, not really knowing what to do with this Florida State team. I think they should have been ranked. Do I think they should have been ranked this high? No.
I think it's just compensation for the situation that happened when they didn't make the playoff. But I feel like it is week 1, so it would all just like fizzle out for itself. Them being 14, if it's deserving of it, it'll show in the coming weeks, and if not, it'll just take care of itself and they'll move back to unranked.
Yeah. Yeah. And looking at the rest of these rankings, not a whole lot to kind of see. Alabama moves down 13 spots to number 21. Another question is, should Alabama be unranked after week
Yes.
1?
Borderline, yes. Borderline, yeah. You know what? My heart says yes, so I'll go with yes.
I
Okay.
think, yeah. After that game, losing multiple scores, you got to unrank them. You know who I think should be ranked? I think you should toss USF in at 25.
I like that. I love that. I love that idea. I think everybody post 20 should move up 1. I think that would put Tennessee right at 21. I think USF should be right at that 25 spot.
That was the only reason to put Boise State in there.
Yeah, because they want a G5 team in there. So I think them flip-flopping with Boise State would be a very like good trade-off.
I think there's a lot of teams that you could kind of put in for some of these teams that are kind of in there just because that's what the voters did. I think I think in my opinion the rankings should be based off of week 1. They shouldn't be ranked off of a preseason poll, and that's what these rankings are based off of, is the preseason poll. They're not based off of the performances that these teams have put on week 1. I think you look at it: Georgia Tech, Auburn, Louisville, TCU, USF. I mean, all of these teams are teams that, even Tulane, Nebraska, they're all teams that should be at least considered for these rankings because they had good performances week 1. And, you have teams in here: Illinois, Arizona State, Florida, or just teams that you don't really have a lot to go off of. And I think that just it should be more based off of week one rankings, I feel like, or week one performances.
If we look at the
Yeah.
coaches poll, I'd say it's more accurate outside the top 15. I don't agree with 1 through, I'd say, 14 or 15. But if we look outside the top 15, the coaches poll, for people who don't know, is the FBF coaches that come together. They give all their top 25s and they make a poll off of their what they think. I'd say 15 through 25 is a very accurate depiction of what could be our rankings for the next few weeks.
Okay.
You could also look at
Well,
the ESPN Power Index if you really want to.
Yeah, that's a good one
That
too.
gets a little skewed though.
Yeah.
It can get a little
Yep.
skewed, but
Yep.
that's just
Yep.
straight computer.
Anything else notable from this top 25 that we want to go over?
Tennessee should be,
I
I'd
think that
say,
about
probably
gets it.
17. Yeah.
Also,
That's what I
Utah
would-
sneaking into the rankings after crushing UCLA. They looked really impressive after week one as well.
I think also UCLA just played a very terrible game and a very poor game from Nico as well. I don't know whether they should be ranked off of that performance, just because UCLA just played a very terrible game. I feel like it's more of like it's not as deep as the Florida State situation where they beat a ranked Alabama. It's more of a Utah beat UCLA, who wasn't ranked. So I think USF deserves that spot more than Utah does.
Yep. All right. Well, it is time to go in and look forward to this next week. We are going to be making our week 2 picks. So if you look here last week, we all went 11-4 with our picks. We tripped up with the Cal Oregon State game. We tripped up with the LSU Clemson game, and then a couple of us picked Texas over Ohio State. Trent picked UNC, which that might be the worst pick.
That was a horrible pick.
That might be the worst pick.
Trent, I had like the easiest mistake fixers. He could have just picked the right pick of Ohio State, and then picking UNC was just kind of silly. I don't
know. And then CJ goes ahead. He picks this is also a contender for the worst pick of the week. East Carolina.
Hey, they almost snuck that one out though. I don't think it was a stupid pick. You know what's happened in the past between those two programs, and it showed.
Yeah. And then
I will.
And then I will admit, maybe also the worst pick of the week. I picked Northwestern over Tulane. The final score of that game was 23-3.
That might be the worst pick of the week. I think that was.
I don't really know how to explain this one other than what I said last week, where it was just I don't understand how Jake Retzlaff was that good week one. He got to the program 4 weeks ago, and he's just able to piece up a power four. Now, granted, Northwestern is fringe power four.
Northwestern has a lot of money, not because they are good at any single sport.
So Tulane's going to be great. They've got a chance at being the Group of 5 bid. Not a great pick for me. We all go 11-4, and this week's slate not as good as last week's by a good margin. There's a lot of sneaky games, I will say. There's a lot of fringe, kind of okay games. I wouldn't say they're the best, but we've got 15 games that I've been able to pick out here that we're going to pick. And starting off with the first game on a Friday, James Madison versus Louisville. Trent, what would be your pick for this game?
Louisville.
Okay. Any commentary there? Just Louisville.
James Madison is a Group of 5 team, and Louisville is a Power 5 team. I think that's all
It's
you
going to
really
get
need.
clipped if James Madison wins.
They won't win. We'll be all right.
James Madison, Louisville. For me, I think that Louisville is going to win this game. I think James Madison, though, they could sneak this one out. I think Matthew Sluka, one of the best Group of 5 quarterbacks, but I mean, it's Louisville. I think they're gonna beat James Madison. James Madison's not the or Louisville. I mean, I would say they're fringe right now, at least inside the top 35. They've got Miller Moss. They've got Isaac Brown. They've got a really good, solid offense. It's just, I think right now for James Madison, they're just going to come up short. CJ, let me hear it.
I'd say I'm high on Matthew Sluka as well. He's a very good G5 quarterback. I'd say he's probably a top 3 quarterback in the G5. It's just, again, it's a G5 versus a Power 4 football team. I think I'll go Louisville here.
Okay.
Just take the safe side here for my win percentage. So, yeah.
All right. Well, next up we have a noon kickoff on Saturday. This one could be sneaky. It's Illinois at Duke.
Trent, give me Illinois. I don't even need to say anything.
We're not even going in turns. CJ's going Illinois.
Duke looked terrible against Elon.
Yeah,
give me. I don't care. Bad. Look at the score. Whatever you want to do. Look at the first 3 quarters of that game. That's all you need to do to know who's going to win this game. Illinois is going to win by multiple scores. Actually, Illinois is going to kill them.
But it shouldn't be a close game. It really shouldn't.
I'm tempted here.
Illinois is going to have multiple turnovers.
Duke struggled on both sides of the ball against Elon, the Chaz Knox school. So
I'm tempted. They have the home field advantage. They have Darian Mensah. That did look solid in that other quarter. But I'm going to go Illinois here.
I was about to say, who'd they play?
They played the Elon Phoenix.
Apparently, they have the
number 1 punter
in the country, but he can't.
Yeah, what was that in our TikTok comments? The number 1 punter in the country? Yeah, I didn't
All-American
back, but it.
Sure, dog.
Yeah, all right, whatever you say, man. Shout out to that O lineman. It's a good teammate.
Shout out that guy.
It's a good teammate.
Early Saturday as well. We have another one of these sneaky, weird games. It's Baylor versus SMU. Trent, what are you thinking here?
That's a good one. Baylor really didn't look all that great against Auburn. I'm not very high on Auburn. I'm going to go SMU.
SMU picks locked in. CJ, what do you think?
I'd say give me Kevin Jennings in SMU. I'm confident with that. I'm very confident. Baylor didn't look very well. So let's go SMU, Kevin Jennings.
All right, well, this is where I'm breaking off from you guys here. I am pretty high on Auburn. I think that they're going to be better this year than what they've been in the past, and I think that that Baylor has. They looked okay. I mean, they lost 38-24, but Sawyer Robinson, he's going to be a pretty good quarterback this year, and I think this is at SMU, but I do think this is going to be a wake-up call for SMU. You look at it last year; they did not play really anybody significant up until Clemson, and they lost against Clemson. And then they lost against Penn State pretty bad. And they really didn't add anybody. They really lost they lost Brashard Smith, who I thought really was kind of the glue that was holding everything together. They looked solid in their first game, but I think this is going to be a wake up call for them. I'm going Baylor, and I think right now that's the pick I'm going to. That's the pick I'm going to pick.
Could Baylor sneak in to be ranked here if they beat SMU?
No, because I don't think they're going to let in a 1-1 team that's not in the top, or that lost to that didn't lose to like a top 10 team.
I think if some of these bottom 4 teams lose, they could sneak in to be ranked.
We'll see. All right, next game. It's a rivalry game. This one always seems to be pretty good. It's Iowa versus Iowa State. Trent, what do you think here?
I like Iowa State. I don't think Iowa really has anything going for them. I guess their defense, whatever. But I'm going Iowa State. I like Rocco.
CJ, what are you thinking here?
I think Rocco Blank's going to have a great game, so I'd go Iowa State. Hopefully they win, probably move up in the rankings a little bit. So,
all right, and I will agree with you guys here. I think Iowa State's looked really good in their first 2 games, and you compare that to Kansas State, who they played to start the season, they've looked horrible. But I think Iowa State's looked really, really solid. They played this game at home. I think this is going to be maybe a little bit of an issue, but I think they'll be able to take care of this one. So I've got Iowa State. And in our next game, we have a non-conference game. It's Virginia versus NC State. This is a game between conference opponents that's being ruled as a non-conference game. Weird, very weird. But despite that, Trent, who do you got here in this ferocious duel?
Yeah, 2 cheeks from the same ass here. I'm going Virginia.
Whoa.
I'm going Virginia.
Uh-oh.
Dude, nobody paid any attention, but they beat Coastal Carolina 48-7 last weekend.
They did.
I'm going Virginia.
And I don't really know what's on, like, what's my pick here, because me and Trent did visit Virginia back in the day, back when I played a little football on a visit. So does Tony Elliott have a win in store this? I think I'm going to go Virginia as well, just because NC State looked not so good against ECU. So, yeah, let me go Virginia.
I'm going to flip a coin. Give me Virginia.
These games, some of these games suck.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be that's gonna be a you fall asleep game. I wish that was on on Western time so we could.
Did we all pick Virginia in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was concocting that up in my brain. I wasn't paying attention to y'all.
Tony Elliott, what does he have in store? I mean, hey, me and Trent, we've been to Virginia. Yeah, we know what it's like over there.
Tony
he was begging for you to.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Tony Elliott. Yeah, big recruiter. So he's a great guy. As far as
he is a great guy.
As far as him away from his offensive coordinator days at Clemson, I don't really know what he's going to do as a head coach at Virginia. So he hasn't been very successful. So
he should come back to Clemson. We would really appreciate him.
Yeah.
In that role, and kick Garrett Riley out. But until then, we'll have to deal with him. Next up, weird game. At Oregon, it's Oklahoma State versus Oregon. Trent, what do you like here?
I'm going with the easy pick, Oregon.
I was give me the obvious.
Dave Lanning is going to outcoach Oregon or Oklahoma State.
I'd say Dave Lanning with a pretty good win at home. So,
yeah, I'll go Oregon here too. Oklahoma State lost a lot last year, and they were 3-9. So, they have to go on the road now and play Oregon. I don't think Oregon. Oregon hasn't proved a whole lot this year, but I think they've proved enough to let me pick them over Oklahoma State here. Here is
Until Mike
another
Gundy gets
game
a
at
better haircut,
3:30.
I'm not picking Oklahoma State.
This could be a little sneaker right here. I like this game.
Ole Miss versus Kentucky.
Yeah.
Trent, how are we feeling on this one?
I don't like Kentucky at all this season, to be honest with you. They lost a lot in the receiver position. Ole Miss obviously with a new look on offense, but I think Ole Miss is going to get it done. They did lose to Kentucky last year, though, I believe, right?
They did.
Yes.
They did.
Yeah.
Who do you
I'm
have
gonna
here,
Ole Miss
CJ?
get revenge.
I'd say Ole Miss with their very dominant win. Their offense looked very, very good. Just, again, a cupcake, but I've got Ole Miss over Kentucky.
Yeah. Kentucky looked really bad against Toledo, and I don't really want to bet on them right now. So I don't really know what Ole Miss has in store, but the only thing is it's on the road, but I believe that they can overcome that and beat Kentucky. Next up, it's another rivalry game. It is Kansas versus Missouri. Trent, what are you thinking here?
Oh, I forgot about that game. Dang.
This is a toss-up for me. I won't lie.
For me, I'm going Missouri. I think they just have the better team in general. Just better. They have a better what's the word? What am I looking for here? Roster. They have a better roster.
You're going Missouri?
Better coached. Yeah, I'm going Missouri.
Okay. CJ, what are you thinking here?
I think Missouri looks better on paper. Again, it's just more of a toss-up. I'd say I'm going to go with my safe pick. Let me go Missouri because of the SEC.
Well, again, this is where I'm going to have to divert with y'all. I just really think Kansas has looked better in the first
Jalen
little
Daniels.
sample
I didn't even
size
think about Jalen
that
Daniels.
Yep. Jalen Daniels coming back for another year. Their offense looked really good, looked really good in their first two games. And they've looked pretty solid. The only thing is they got to play on the road at Missouri, but that's not really, I feel like, a big test. So I mean, this is a toss-up. I could be wrong here, but I'm going to go Kansas and just kind of cross my fingers here and hope that they can pull this one out. But I do really like how they've looked in the first couple of weeks. Next up, this one's a great one. This one's a great one. It's West Virginia at Ohio. Trent, who do you got?
Great
Give me West
freaking
Virginia.
slate this week.
We had to have 15 teams,
I do
15
not-
matchups.
I don't
in
know
here.
anything about Ohio, so give me West Virginia.
Okay. CJ?
I've stumbled across a couple of Ohio games for my past couple of years, and every time I watch, I'm disappointed. So let me go with West Virginia.
Okay. And I am not going to divert. I think Ohio new coaching staff this year, Parker Navarro, I think looks pretty decent. But I've got West Virginia. I think this could be a trap game though. But it's just too much of a risk to put down Ohio.
I
feel
wouldn't
like-
feel comfortable. I would
No.
if I wouldn't bet on it, I wouldn't put it. So
Okay. Well, next up we have USF versus Florida. Trent, what are we thinking here?
Okay. This is going to be a good game. Florida's going to
he's
win.
finna say some BS.
But no, Florida's going to win the game.
Oh, okay,
But give me
okay.
USF to cover. Give me USF to cover the spread.
Oh, I didn't know we were.
USF. We're not, but I'm just saying. Give
Okay.
me USF to cover
Okay.
the spread. Florida, they're going to hang around. I really like Ohio.
I think this is going to be a sneaky good game. Byron Brown's going to play a great game against this Florida defense. I think Florida's still going to win, pull it out. It's because Byron Brown doesn't have a good enough supporting cast. But DJ Lagway is still on the offensive side of the ball for Florida, so I'd say Florida.
Is this at
Yeah,
USF?
Good
I'll
game though. This isn't a crazy blowout. This is a good game.
Yeah, I'll
Is
have to
this
agree
at
with
USF
y'all on
this
this one. Huh?
Is this at USF this year?
No, it's at Florida.
No, it's at Florida.
Is it okay?
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm leaning. I feel like maybe USF can pull together maybe a halftime lead, but I feel like at the end of the day, Florida's just going to be able to.
Just them trying to sneak out of a win in the swamp is just kind of a
Yeah,
far-fetched
they have a
ask
really
for me.
tough first 3 games in Boise State.
I would love
Florida
to see
and
a
Miami.
USF win here, though. I would love to see a USF win.
I would.
If they can win one of the games between Florida and Miami, I feel like they'll be able to have a really good shot at a Group of 5.
I would sacrifice
bid.
my win here for a USF win.
I would really like to see Alex Golish at a Power 5 school. I
would.
really like Alex. He's a good offensive mind. He came from that Heupel tree. Big veer and shoot guy. I think if he got a shot at a better school, he really could be. I think he's a good coach.
Let's go for Cooper's favorite game of the week right here.
Yeah, this one is equally on the same level. Group of 5 team versus Power 4 team.
Dude,
It's North Carolina versus the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. The 49ers.
Where Cooper attends.
My alma mater.
this is going to be an atrocious game.
So
Wait, so
I
how
think
did
these
how did UNCC even look last week? I didn't know.
they didn't look good. I'll go on my rant here. While we're on the topic, if you didn't catch the App State UNCC game, you didn't miss out on much. App State 34, UNCC 11.
Yeah, I looked at a box score.
And just, it didn't there was nothing. There was nothing. I mean, I can pull up the stats right now, but there was no offense provided by UNCC. App State was running all over them. 368 yards from AJ Swan, the quarterback at App State, compared to 142 from Connor Harrell. So just not great. We couldn't run the ball. 586 total yards compared to 218. Just they got slobbered on. They got 32 first downs compared to 15. And it's just it was such a stupid game. You can say the same thing about the UNC game. I don't know what happened with UNC. I really don't.
That was horrible.
They looked horrible. Looked terrible. Turnovers. They didn't look prepared, which they probably weren't because they didn't have a depth chart. I mean, they didn't really have anything.
Roster spots, by the way.
They had 70 new players. This is really, again, I'm going to pull out the quarter for this. This is a toss-up, I feel like.
Yeah,
because UNC could
we don't know
could go
who's
out
going to win this game.
No,
because UNC could go out there and
we don't know who's going to win this game.
They could go out there and win 52-0, or this could be a dogfight.
I know who's
and not in a good way.
This is
I will be at this game. College Football Corner will be on site for this game. Hype has gone a lot down for this game since the UNC loss, since the UNCC loss. I'm going to flip a coin. Heads, UNC. Tails, UNCC. It's tails, UNCC. I've got to pick UNCC here. Trent, what are you picking here?
There's no way they don't start Max Johnson now. And if they don't, then just fire Bill Belichick and let us go to hell.
I'd say so too.
Give me UNC. I think Max
give me
Johnson's
UNC as well because
what's the line? What's the line on this game? I want.
Dude, they have
let me look it up.
Whatever spread, it's gonna get covered. But
Vegas is gonna opt out.
Mind you, after the performance that UNC had, losing 48-14 to TCU, the spread is still 13.5 UNC on this game.
I'd say it's going to get covered. But
you know what? I'm taking the C off.
The College Football Corner was on site for 2 games this week. So, yeah.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to take the C off of UNCC. I cannot pick the Charlotte
You
team.
already picked.
I cannot take the Charlotte team. I cannot. And if they win, then I don't know, because they're not going to.
Then you're going to clip
But
on YouTube and say you called it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut out this part, and I'm going to yeah. But if we win and we storm the field, you'll see footage of that on the Instagram, and so make sure to follow.
This is at
Instagram
UNC Charlotte.
This is at UNC Charlotte.
I wish I was coming home a day earlier. I'd definitely go to this. Oh gosh.
Dude, the tickets are probably free.
Yeah, but
no, they're kind of expensive. Okay, I think we spent a little bit too much time on UNC versus UNC Charlotte.
Hey, that was our best game of the week. That was our best game of the week.
But okay, Arizona State, Mississippi State. CJ, you saw Arizona State last week.
I saw this on site.
What do you think?
Very cheap tickets, by the way. I paid probably $20. It was an impulse buy. Probably about 2 hours before. So ASU, Sam Levitt looked very composed against Northern Arizona, like he should. The offense played very well. Just again, it was a cupcake. I'd say they weren't very impressive, although Northern Arizona's quarterback had a very good game. He took care of the football, threw it around the yard well. I do not know his name, but shout out to him. Let me take – I'm going to take Arizona State. I think St. Louis is going to have a good game.
Okay.
Not a great defense, though, from Arizona State.
Trent, what do you think?
Arizona State. I think Arizona State's going to get exploited on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I think Mississippi State is going to have a signature win.
Okay.
And they're gonna make a bowl game. They're gonna go 6-6, and they're gonna beat Arizona State.
While I was at the game, I kept finding myself saying, Arizona State doesn't look very impressive. Arizona State looks kind of bad here. It's just, I don't know if I can really just drop the nuts and pick Mississippi State here. I don't know. I'm going to keep with my gut and go Arizona State.
You're going to go Arizona State. Okay. I'm going to go Mississippi State. I think that this is at Mississippi State. I think that this is going to be a wake-up call for Arizona State. I think they're equal talent level. I think I like Arizona State's coaching a little bit more, but I think this is just one of those games where it's a wake-up call. And I don't like I don't like this road matchup here for Arizona State. But now we will move on. We got 3 more games left. This one going to be an interesting one. Vanderbilt versus Virginia Tech. Trent, what are you thinking here?
That's a good game. I mean, Virginia Tech really didn't look all that bad. I really like Virginia Tech's receiving core. I thought they looked phenomenal in some parts of that game. I thought they really caught some balls that you really wouldn't think have been caught. But it's a tough one. It really is. Vanderbilt took it last year. Diego Pavia. Where's this one at?
This one's at Virginia Tech.
Oh, yeah, give me Virginia Tech. Never mind.
Okay.
For me, I'd say
fizzle out.
I think that as well. I'm going to choose Virginia Tech, but this is not an easy choice just because I'd say South Carolina's game plan for Kyron Jones just to make him win from the pocket. It's just very unlike Kyron Jones' play style, and it's just going to be a very tough task for Virginia to win. Virginia Tech's receiving core was very impressive, though. And if we can't get the ball to our playmakers at Virginia Tech, not we. I'm not a Virginia Tech fan. If they can't get the ball to their playmakers, I think they can be very effective on the offensive side of the ball. So give me Virginia Tech.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't want to go 11-4 with you guys all week, for every single week. So I'm going to go for Vanderbilt here. I like Pavia. I think this offense has more potential than Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech did not look good, offensively. They just couldn't finish out drives. They had a safety and 3 field goals. And I think, Virginia Tech is going to have a little bit of an advantage being at home, but I think I like Vanderbilt, to win this one, skip by. But I mean, again, this is another coin toss game. But next up, we have got maybe the ultimate coin toss game. Here it's Boston College versus Michigan State.
Ugh.
Trent,
God
Gosh.
almighty.
who do you like here between these two ferocious teams?
I don't know who I
Um,
like.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of the bottom feeders of the Big Ten. Like I said before with Northwestern, I think Boston College might just be. I don't know. Yeah, give me Boston College.
Oh, okay.
It's the bottom of the Big
TJ.
12. Give me. I'm gonna go Michigan State. I just Boston College with Castellanos now at Florida State. I just don't see them with great success. Let me go Michigan State. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Boston College here. I liked how they looked against Fordham, 66-10. Um, but I mean, this is a toss-up. I think this could go either way. Um, I, I think Aiden Childs should hopefully improve in year 2, but he hasn't looked that impressive so far. But we'll see. But I think right now, I'll give it to Boston College.
That one
So
kind of stung.
That was a
so
terrible one. These games suck.
You said what?
final game, the best game of week 2. It is
Here we
Michigan
go.
versus Oklahoma. Trent, who do you got here?
What'd you say? It was loading.
Oh, Trent, who do you got?
For Oklahoma,
Yeah,
did you
Michigan.
say Oklahoma? Okay, yeah. I didn't know. It started loading the moment you said game of the week.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I like Mateer. I like John Mateer. They have the home field advantage. Still young at quarterback for Michigan. I don't really into a big stage like that. Give me Mateer in Oklahoma.
Okay. CJ.
I can't do that. I think I'm gonna go with Michigan and Bryce Underwood. Just Bryce Underwood showed flashes. I think he only had like a 73 QBR for his last game, but QBR isn't the whole telltale for the quarterback position. I think he played a decent game. So give me Michigan.
Yeah, I agree with CJ. I'm gonna go Michigan here. I think they're a more well-rounded team overall. I think they have a
Yeah.
better run game. And maybe quarterback isn't up to par, but Mateer really hasn't proved himself in this Oklahoma offense. So this will be a proven game for both of these teams. I like Michigan's defense better. And obviously they're going to be playing at Oklahoma, but I think this is going to be a big test for Bryce Underwood. But I think this is going to be more of a defensive game, and I think that Mateer might struggle here, and so I'm going to go Michigan to win this ball game. So, yeah, that will do it for our picks for this week. So those were our 15 picks. We'll update you on our picks every single week and kind of let you know who's leading throughout all that. So that about does it for this live show, episode 2. Anybody else have any other remarks or closing comments?
I'm
Go
ready for week
Vols.
3.
Yeah. Did we want to do live call-ins, or are we going to have anybody for that?
I don't know.
Yeah, we have 2 people in here. Do they want to join? Who is in here?
Hey, if you want to
I was
join
saying,
and
I
speak your
wonder who it
mind,
is.
we can Paul
Yeah.
Feinbaum it up.
Who's in here?
I don't know. Let's see.
We will be
If I
on
can
site.
chat.
Are we going to be on site for next week at all? I know Cooper will at UNTC this week.
Yep, I will be at the UNC Charlotte UNC game. So if you were there, say hi. I'll be there probably in the student section, or I don't really know where. But that's probably where I'm going to be. So
I will be
and
on
I might
site.
leave. I might have to leave early on that game because that might be a bad time.
Where are we at next? Where we all
We'll
going
be on
next?
site next week.
Week 3?
Week 3?
Yeah.
Week 3, I'll be on site.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Georgia.
Tennessee, Georgia, yeah.
I'll be on site for that one.
I don't know. Where's UNT Charlotte at week 3, Cooper?
UNC Charlotte is playing Monmouth at home, so I will be on site for that game.
You know what?
too.
I'm gonna go with Cooper to Monmouth. You at UNC Charlotte.
Okay.
We're gonna pop out. Yeah.
Okay. So, breaking news: world famous MLB star CJ Gray is going to be at UNC Charlotte in 2 weeks. So,
College Football Corner needs a game to where we can all go, like a game we can just all drive to. We still need to figure one out.
Willie B,
So.
dude. Go to one at Willie B.
You said what?
We can go to one at Willie B. Who's South Carolina play week 3? We could all 3 go to a different game.
I don't know. I think let me look at this. Let me look at South Carolina's schedule. The only thing is like those games are so expensive.
K-Town Pub.
K-Town Pub.
The little Williams
okay.
Bryce. Okay.
All right. Well, I think that'll probably
Elliot's in here.
do that.
Elliot's in here.
Oh, Elliot's in here. Does
We
Elliot
got
want to
4
join?
viewers. Holy cow.
I mean, we had 6 at one point, but that was when we were having like all those technical difficulties. So
He ain't saying nothing.
I ain't saying nothing. Let me look. Let me copy the
dude.
link.
Let's all like pop out like a South Carolina game one week. I'll drive.
Okay.
You buying?
Okay.
You buying?
You buying the tickets?
Okay.
1 point.
If they're like 60 apiece, why not?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to A.
Boy, cut out on us.
South Carolina Vanderbilt.
You
week
cut
3.
out.
South Carolina Vanderbilt what?
South Carolina week 3.
Yeah, but you're going to be at the Georgia game.
Let's say you're
Week
Tennessee,
3.
Georgia week 3.
South Carolina, Kentucky.
Week
South
5.
Carolina, Alabama.
Yeah, week 5 we can go South Carolina, Kentucky.
South Carolina,
I like
Alabama.
that.
No, South Carolina, Oklahoma.
Dude, the South Carolina,
Either one of
Alabama
those.
tickets are going to be like really cheap though, because Alabama sucks now.
Wait, I think I fly back.
We
I
make
think
a
I fly
field
back
trip
on
down to
September
Baton Rouge.
20th.
So when are you leaving again?
So I fly back on September 20th to here, and then I'll leave from the Dominican on October 18th to come back
That's
home,
the game.
and I'll be home.
Okay, so we
Then
can
I'll be
go
home
to
for
Alabama,
like
South Carolina. Wait, let me do.
yeah. Then I'll be home for like forever after that, until like February or something.
We could go to South Carolina, Alabama.
We can.
We
Wait,
could.
let me see who Tennessee plays that week. Is it 25th of October?
October 25th.
Let's buy these
I
tickets soon
might.
then. Jeez.
I don't know. It depends if I'm going to Kentucky or not for the Tennessee-Kentucky game.
Don't go to Kentucky.
Hey, let's all just go to Kentucky then.
That ticket's gonna be like $500.
No, it ain't. It's Kentucky.
I'm about to say.
Weren't the
It's
tickets
at
that we
Kentucky.
had or at Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh,
The tickets
at
we had at
Kentucky.
Neyland were that much. The one that at
Oh, yeah.
Neyland were that much, but not in Kentucky. Then the next week I'm going to Oklahoma, Tennessee.
Okay.
Okay. Well, all right. That will probably about do it for this episode. We thank you all for watching. We will try to work out the technical difficulties next time, but we got them worked out by the end of the show. So thank you all who watched. We will see you next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
So we will see you.
Oh
then.
wait. We
What?
could do it all in person. We'll all be home.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh.
For the next 2 weeks.
we could.
We
Wait,
could.
hey,
K-Town
let's set your house up.
We need to do that. I'll ask my mom. Yeah.
All right.
Frick yeah.
We need 3
Okay.
mics and a table.
Yeah, I can get that. We just need to clean out the room.
How bad is it?
But it's pretty bad. It's just like a bunch of junk in there. She told me she would clean it like while I'm gone though, and have it like before the new year. So
Can we push it to the side of the room? Is it enough for that?
no, like it's filled. Like the room is full of like clothes, like boxes, like a bunch.
Oh, we'll figure
We'll figure it
something
out though.
Well,
We'll figure it out.
We get 3 mics. Dude, that'd be good.
I got one.
The room is
I got
big.
one
We
of
could put like a
mine.
couch in there, like a pool table. Like we could put like a
Dude,
table
we could
in
have a nice
there.
backdrop.
Yep. You
We
put some
could,
like
like,
your
like-
Angels crap in there.
Like the room is pretty big.
Dude, you put
It's
your
bigger
Angel
than
stuff
it's
in
even
there.
bigger than my
We just need
room.
to pull. Dude, we put
I
the
could put
pool
my
table
Katie
in the
Plum
back
jersey
and
in
like your
there.
Angel stuff. Yeah, we put
Yeah,
jersey
like-
up in there. Dude, that'd be
It'd
sick.
be nice.
A helmet or something.
Yeah.
Dude, we could all put some money together and buy like a nice football helmet, like a nice
Dude.
one.
Yeah, we could all put like some decorations in there, like that the Nealon sign,
Yeah,
like the glow in
We
the
could like
dark one.
we
I
could
wanna
like
buy
steal something from K-Town Pub and like put it in there.
that. Yeah.
Get a couple cups.
Oh
Get a
god.
couple. Get a
Dude.
couple plates in there, hanging them up.
we could make that room sweet.
We could.
We could. Hey, Trent, get back on 2K. I'm ready to play.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Cooper, get on
that'll
Xbox.
end.
Oh wait. Cooper doesn't have it.
That'll end us off. We will see you next week. Peace out.
Okay.